This show has a theme of how to have a healthier lifestyle. Dr. Sandra Dalton-Smith first, and now we have Susan Neal. We're going to explain what she's going to be talking about. She's actually wants us to get off sugar and refined carbohydrates. I'm not going to tell her that I had my chocolate-covered peanut M&Ms right before I came on this show, and she's going to help me though to get off that addiction. Susan Neal has written a book called 7 Steps to Get Off Sugar and Carbohydrates. She's an RN with an MBA and an MHS. She's a certified health and wellness coach whose background is nursing and health services, and it's led her to seek new ways to educate and coach people to overcome health challenges. She is the author of an award-winning Healthy Living series. Her other books include Christian Study Guide for 7 Steps to Get Off Sugar and Carbohydrates, the Healthy Living Journal, and Solving, this is a problem for many of us, the gluten puzzle. So welcome to Pop Talk, Susan. And
thank you.
Why do you think so many people are addicted to carbs and sugar?
Well, there's more than one reason. So first, it could be a food addiction, but it also could be an emotional attachment to the food, or it could be a candida overgrowth. So candida is a yeast that is perfectly balanced in our gastrointestinal tracts along with our probiotics until we take antibiotics or maybe other medications. And then it strips the probiotics and we're left with the candida. Now what happens is candida is a bully. He's a bad guy. And what he does is he takes over. And he loves sugar, refined carbohydrates, and alcoholic beverages. He does not care which one you choose, but that's what I had after I had a health crisis. And it is so hard to gain control of your eating when you have an overgrowth of candida.
I see a poster, no can do candida. You're right?
Yes. Well, I want to know what some of the symptoms are, Susan. When you eat too many carbs, when you eat too many, or just too much sugar in general, what are some of the symptoms we should look for?
Okay, so when you eat high sugar, what happens is, you get that sugar buzz, you're going, and then boom, and your blood sugar plummets, and you're devoid of energy, and you feel terrible, and you're irritable, and you're grumpy, and you have mood swings. It also causes brain fog. It contributes to diabetes, gaining weight.
Okay, ding, 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 gaining weight. That got my attention.
I tell you, everybody gets so worried about gaining weight. So this is an important question because I think it'll help us understand it better. Can you explain how our body becomes addicted to those sugar and carbs?
Yes. So it could be the candida, but it also could be a food addiction. So when you have a food addiction, what happens is when you eat the high sugar or refined carbohydrates, dopamine releases from the brain. And this dopamine is this feel-good neurohormone. We love it. We crave it. Okay? And when it's also, they've shown on MRI imaging that an addict, an opioid addict, and somebody who is addicted to sugar, under imaging, if they view the product that they're addicted to, the brain receptor, the same brain receptor goes off.
Oh, that's sad.
That's interesting. Well, can't exercise also give you dopamine? Okay, sorry.
Yes.
Did I take your next line?
Yes,
Okay.
exactly. So exercise, we can go out and walk around the block. We can hug our child, we can hug our spouse. We can sing. Singing releases those endorphins. There's a lot of other things. So if you understand that you are addicted, then I write a scripture verse, I put it on the refrigerator, And, I speak the word of God over it, and then it's like, okay, what else can I do to get my dopamine released?
Oh, I love
Yeah,
that.
we should start
Wow.
Sugars Anonymous or Sugar Anonymous, and maybe I need some help in a small group or something like that. So, what are some of the benefits of getting off sugar and these carbohydrates?
Well, you have clarity of mind.
Okay.
So you can remember, you have a sharp mind again, and you have energy. And so you wake up in the morning happy
Oh, I love
and
that.
energetic because you feel good again. You feel a decade younger. You're ready to go conquer. And my mission is to inspire others to improve their health so they can serve God better.
Yes.
Because if we are healthy, we can serve Him to the best of our ability.
Right. Well, and in your book, you talk about foods that are, some are dead foods and some are alive foods. Can you give us some examples? This is so interesting to me. I don't think this has ever been brought up. I've never heard this analogy, so I think this is really going to help our viewers.
Okay, so a dead food is like white flour or white rice.
Okay.
So the food manufacturer goes and takes the part of the rice and part of the wheat out of the berry, the wheat berry, and you're left with a flour that can sit on the grocery store shelf for months and months and months because it does not contain the God-given nutrients that God created the wheat or the brown rice. And so in the 1940s, after food manufacturers started doing this, they found out that, oh my, people are getting more sick. We need to enrich the white flour with vitamins, man-made vitamins, because people are getting sick.
Which does nothing.
That is dead food. Now, alive food is when you go into the produce section and you see the beautiful apples and the beets and the lettuce and asparagus and strawberries and blueberries and all the fresh foods. God gave us over 100 vegetables. So those foods are alive.
And that's a great way to look at it. God gave us those vegetables. He didn't rain down sugar on us, right? I guess there is cane.
That's right.
Sugar canes.
Well, you must have a personal story, Susan. Was your health, and I think you mentioned this a minute ago, was your health in danger, and how did it act as a catalyst for turning into a healthier lifestyle?
Okay, so about 14 years ago, I lost my health. I was 49, and I had an abscess too.
Oh.
And what happened is I had a crown put on. And then like 3 months later, I went back to the dentist because I wasn't feeling well. Anyway, they didn't catch it for 8 months because it just didn't appear to be abscess. And so during that 8 months, I had 10 medical diagnoses and 2 surgeries. So it first started with my mental health. So I suffered from depression and then an ovarian cyst, adrenal fatigue. I had a tear in my retina and they had to do emergency surgery because that is the leading cause of blindness.
Oh, that's so sad.
I was anemic, my hormones were imbalanced. I mean, on and on. And so I was a train wreck, and that's when I got the Candida. And I had, even though I'm a registered nurse, I was never trained in nursing school about an overgrowth of Candida albicans, which is a yeast. And so I had to learn a lot, and not all my doctors could cure it all. So I went on an anti-Candida diet. I took an anti-Candida cleanse, and
Ask about that.
it took like 8 months to get rid of it, but I conquered it. I got my normal appetite back instead of craving all the sugar and carbs. And I even developed a quiz to help others know if they might have a Candida infection. It's called candiquiz.com, C-A-N-D-I, quiz.com. And so mission of Pearls of Promise is like you have the oyster shell and you have that irritation, that
Exactly.
problem, that trauma, that whatever, and it ends up being our mission on the mission field now.
Yes.
So that is my mission now, is to help others improve their health.
So
I
good.
love that, Susan. So beautiful. Should we quit cold turkey? I mean, is this something we gradually taper off, or do you recommend just giving it all up from one day to the next?
Okay, there's two different ways. One, if you are going to give it all up at once, and I outline this in my book, you start on a Wednesday and you just stop eating wheat. The next day you stop eating any sugar.
Yes.
You take a probiotic. Okay, on Saturday and Sunday you're not going to be feeling well because your body is
Used to.
releasing all these toxins. So, but you get through it, and by Tuesday, oh my gosh, you feel like a new woman. Now the other way to do it is to do it slower, is to go ahead and take your probiotic and eat some sauerkraut to get your probiotics also from food, not just a supplement. And then to get off of wheat, especially that white flour, get off of sugar and do it slowly. Your choice.
There are some other things you discuss in your book, and one of those things is about plastic
Yes.
containers, plastic bottles. Now, I want to really hear about this because I drink a lot out of plastic bottles, and so what is the danger of doing that?
Well, I heard the dangers of plastic about a decade ago, and so I changed out all my plastic Tupperware, storage containers.
I did too. Yes,
Yes.
I heard the same thing.
With glass, and then it has the plastic on top. But then there was an article that was just released, a scientific research article done in January of 2024, that they found in a liter of water in plastic that there are 200,000 microparticles of plastic in 1 liter of water from plastic.
Yeah.
And the reason they were able to find this, and it was so high, is they have been able to magnify the water to be able to count the particles.
That's scary. Well, what kind of water should we drink?
So what I did last year, and I've been wanting to do this for years, is I got a reverse osmosis system underneath my kitchen sink. So
Okay.
that's the best purification
Okay.
system, is a reverse osmosis.
Well, Susan, this has been fascinating. We were so happy to have you on Pop Talk. I know we've seen each other a lot here at the National Religious Broadcasters Convention where we're taping this show. And I'm so glad we could finally have you on to talk about this very important subject. And for those of you who would like to know more about Susan Neal, you can find her at her website, and that's SusanUNeal.com. SusanUNeal.com.
And we hope that you'll reach out to us here at Pearls of Promise Ministries. Our website is pearlsofpromiseministries.com. Email us at info@pearlsofpromiseministries.com. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter at Pop Talk Media. We're on Instagram at Pop_Ministries. And check out all of our past Pearls of Promise Ministries, our YouTube channel, where you can see all of our shows and our award-winning documentaries.
So that is Pop Talk for today, coming to you from the National Religious Broadcasters Convention in Nashville, Texas, at the Gaylord Opryland Hotel. We're just ordinary girls.
Who God turned into pearls. Have a great day.
From promos and commercials to full-length shows, Horizon Media Studios can script, voice, and fully produce programming for television, streaming, and other media. For 15 years and 250 ministries, this Christ-centered 501c3 nonprofit ministry is dedicated to high-quality production and helping other nonprofits produce media. Horizon Media Studios is seeking new ministries to feature. Tell us your story, 561-313-3165.